Humanity is one. The same feelings of love, loss, sadness, depression, happiness. Everyone has the same feeling. It's hilarious because I was going on this one tour, a 4-hour walking tour of Helsinki with this one lady. And she was out of a relationship, a serious relationship, not married, but serious relationship 2 years ago. And we just bonded on that. And it was hilarious because we were just talking about how she's saying in Helsinki is one of the highest rates of divorce over there. I'm like, here, really? And, you think of Finland. It's like, everything's so relatable. Her desires, similar to my desires, what we're looking for in life. It just makes the world so much smaller when you start meeting new people.
I think that's a great point because I was reading, it was something on Twitter that somebody I follow had posted, and same thing. It was she's a nature person, and she's like, I really feel if you get out in nature and you get out in the world, you realize that we have far much more in common than we have differences, and we have far more the same thoughts and values of love and honoring people and loving your family and all that. And I think you're right. I feel like those things, and maybe that's part of the happiness. That's part of the joy you're exuding is when you can get in nature, when you can focus on that as opposed to all the things that social media and the world is trying to tell us is wrong, then I think you can really start to appreciate like, hey, this is what I want my life to be. This is what I want, where I want to focus. Because you seem to have put your focus in the good stuff. As opposed to
you do. You have to work on that. You have to work on that. Do what people are like, find your happiness, what makes you happy. And sadly, it is an expensive hobby, but I do love to travel.
Right, it's an expensive hobby. We're going to have to find some, for a lot of our viewers, we're going to need to find some local things to do. But I think you can do that. There's so plenty. There's we're in Georgia here, and there's I'll see articles like gorgeous waterfalls and beach that are within driving distance. And there's so much cool stuff, and even nature. My dad has 20-something acres, and every time I go down there, it's to his house. I drive down the driveway, and I'm like, oh. It's just like as soon as I pull in the driveway and pass his little fence, I'm like, you just kind of feel like
it's just removing yourself from your environment. And I think that's my theory because now, as a mom of 2 teenage boys, because you know how they are with the teenage stage, it's tough.
Teenage stage is not a fun one.
Homework, that with the stress of work. I have to and now I have 2 aging parents. I had to literally remove myself from Georgia to kind of get that moment of recoup, take care of myself so I could take care of them. And so I think that's what it is. It could be anywhere. I just had to even a weekend getaway does wonders. I just went on a weekend getaway with some girlfriends to the beach just down in Florida. And that just feels like a huge restart. I just have to remove myself to be able to fill my cup.
But I think filling your cup is one. Gratitude, you mentioned that earlier, is a big thing. And understanding that we get to choose. We get to choose what you're filling your cup with. Right? Because you could just as easily, and a lot of y'all, not y'all listening to this show, but your friends are filling the cup with bad stuff. I think a lot of times we get to choose.
I think because that's scared of being having that solitude moment.
I think that's critical. Can I talk? Critical because that's exactly where my brain went when you said you took that solitude time first. Because I have people in my world. I'm not going to name names, but I'll probably call you afterwards and tell you. I have some people in my world that they can't sit in solitude. Well, I won't say they can't. They refuse to. So they do move out of one thing and jump right into the next thing, whether it be a relationship, a job, a marriage. We got some repeat offenders with a lot of those that I know. And I think you're spot on. I think it's that when that massive change in life happens, death, divorce, job change, job loss, any of that, if you don't sit in solitude, the tendency is just to jump right back into the familiar. And sitting in solitude, I think, allows
you. Not familiar.
Yeah, a filler. That's true, right? Fillers aren't good. Filler dates are not good. Filler jobs are not good. It's just, you've got to sit there for a minute.
It's scary because you're going to be in your head. You're going to feel the process, and then you can go to therapy. You just have to, I don't want to take my burden. I want to process what happened. I don't want to take it to the next relationship. And that's where you find your gratitude, that moment of gratitude, your self-worth, your what makes you happy.
But the processing and the solitude is important because, I frequently say, I don't want people to live in the suck, but you got to understand it. You've got to process it. You got to know what happened and then be able to say, okay, this is what happened. Here's where I am. Here's what I learned from it. And here's where I'm going next.